Michael Canton at Sacred Psychotherapy. So here's a tip for mental health. It's also specifically a tip for OCD, but I think it applies to our mental health in general for most of humanity. Okay, so oftentimes we have thoughts that we cling to, we obsess on, we worry about, we try to do things to compensate for the fear that comes up in us when we are worrying about something. And what's happening is, if you look at it like, I'm going to use my hand to demonstrate. So there is this thought that we latch onto, and we are very concerned about, we're thinking about, we're obsessing about, we're struggling with. And then at some point, whether we get fatigued or we come to peace with whatever this thought is, then this goes away, and then it rotates. And so there's a new thought to worry about and to obsess about, be confused about, struggle with, and so forth, right? You come to peace with this one, and then it rotates. There's a new one to worry about. So it goes on, guys. It's the way our minds, our brains are constructed. It's, some people call it the ego. Some people call it the devil. Some people call it like a part of us, or our shadow self. Whatever we call it, it's the same mechanism that is tempting us, right, to be concerned and focused on things that trouble us, that give us distraction and pause, and we focus on mentally, and it drains our energy. It takes us away from fulfilling our life's purpose, and away from being in touch with the depth of ourselves, the true spirit of ourselves that is here to express itself in and through us. So something to keep in mind. Consider the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, right? There's an apple. There's this shiny object that, let's consume this. Let's ignore everything else and just focus and ruminate and think about and be captivated by this, apple, this, shiny object syndrome, right? Where we're just focused and distracted at the same time on something that is pretty much insignificant, that is taking our attention away from all the abundance, all the beauty that life has to offer, all the good things that we have in our life, all the things we have to be grateful for, essentially. That's what these thoughts are doing to us. They are like the shiny objects that we are going after. And this is all internal. In the external reality, though, we have shiny objects too, of course. There's advertisements, there's, the next outfit we have to have, or next pair of shoes we have to have, or the next car we have to have, the next trip we have to go on, the next insert whatever it is that will make us feel better about ourselves, right? And all of those things externally and internally are distractions that take us away from our true selves, that take us away from our connection with God, our awareness of our connection with God, and our spiritual reality that we are, that we have a part of God within us, that we can cultivate and let it come through. And so, again, this has to do with humanity in general, but this also has to do with our mental health. The more that we can center ourselves in our awareness of God, in our awareness of ourselves as spiritual beings, having a physical experience, but remembering who we really are, then the less we'll go into these mental health tropes, these fears, these worries, these concerns, and that's what I see as how spirituality affects our mental health, how holistic health affects our mental health. When we look at it from this vantage point, then it's not just about, oh, I'm having this preoccupation with this thing, this thought, or this need that I have. It's more of like, okay, let me step back from it, know that it is a mechanism that is designed in us to distract us and to influence us, to keep us disconnected from who we really are. And when we see it as the mechanism, then we can kind of sit back in our own spirit, in our own observer mode point of view, and observe that, oh yeah, this is just the ego doing its thing, trying to distract me. I'm going to sit back in my Christ self, in my God self, in my spirit self, call it, and allow myself to not be distracted in this way, and begin to live my life from this moment forward with expression, with love, with passion, and joy and peace, right? And that is not just a one-time thing, it's a practice, that we get to do day in, day out, moment by moment by moment. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any comments, feel free to comment. If you have any questions, feel free to ask here in the comment section below. All right, much love.